Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Red Dead Online and we're doing another weapon customization video. Today it's going to be the top 5 best custom designs for the double barrel shotgun. So before we get into those designs, let's just do a little bit of historical background information about this gun. The double barrel shotgun in Red Dead Online is based on the real life 1878 Colt Hammer shotgun. The Colt and Parker companies mass-produced high-quality double barrel breech loading shotguns in the 19th century. While price was secondary in these guns after quality, the companies did keep the shotguns at competitive prices. Colt advertised the 1878 Hammer model as being made of the best materials and constructed with the best workmanship, and not long after being introduced, the Model 1878 was winning medals. Colt produced 22,683 Model 1878 shotguns with serial numbers logically running from 1 to 22,683. The Model 1878 was discontinued in 1889 due to stiff competition from domestic and foreign companies. Shooters had been choosing cheap prices and poor quality over the quality of the Colt shotgun. The standard Model 1878 was manufactured in 10 gauge and 12 gauge with 28, 30, and 32-inch barrel options. A 12 gauge with 28-inch barrels weighed about 7.5 pounds. The breech-loading shotgun with outside hammers had rolled Colt markings on the lock plates and barrel rib, hard rubber butt plates, and checkered on the stock. Barrels were blued or browned with a Damascus twist. Army officers sometimes ordered weapons on their own, and the Colt company gave them an incentive to buy the Model 1878 Hammer shotgun or the 1883 Hammerless shotgun by offering the two side-by-side double-barrel shotguns at a 25% discount for military members. The Colt Model 1878 double-barrel Hammer shotgun is widely considered to be the finest American double-barrel shotgun. It was manufactured from 1878 to 1889, and the Model 1878 shotgun was the highest-priced item in the Colt line and was available in almost any grade as a special order item. It can most commonly be found in 10 gauge with a 30-inch barrel, and the most typical finish was the Damascus and case-hardened color, and the stock would be a walnut checkered design. So starting us off at the first design, we of course have the DTG Classic. So this is the one that I keep on my my double barrel shotgun pretty much all of the time. So for this one, we're going to start it off with the long barrel, improved rifling, and improved sights. And then we're going to be using the wide grain for the stock and the cartridge wrap for the wrap. Of course, if you don't have the cartridge wrap, then the leather wrap would work just fine. And for that wrap, we're going to want to make it brick red. Then we're going to want to use the Bubinga varnish for the stock. And then we're going to do full Victorian engraving with the blue metal inlay. Then for the metals of the gun itself, we're going to want to do blued steel for the barrel, the hammer, and the trigger guard, and then gold for the trigger, the sight, and the frame, thus giving it that excellent, fantastic looking three-toned look. We've got, we're utilizing a wrap, which looks awesome on the gun. Then we've got the dark blue barrel with the blue accents of the hammer and the trigger guard. And then the nice, bright and vivid gold for the frame and the triggers. And the sight, which helps stand out against that blue and really helps the blue engraving pop against it. Like I've said a million times, this is, in my opinion, the best color combination in the game for guns. It looks fantastic. It's flashy, but it's not gaudy. So this is my favorite design for the shotgun, which is why I like to show it first. But let's move on to the second design. Next up at number 2, we've got the Woolly Mammoth. So this one's going to be a little bit different feeling. We're going to take the wrap off of it, but we're going to still keep the long barrel and all the improved stuff. Then we're going to do the dark walnut or the ebony varnish. It doesn't really matter. I've got the dark walnut on here, but both look fine as long as it's real dark. We're going to carve the bear into it, and I think with the bear, it's got that little design coming off the bottom, which kind of looks like the tusks of a mammoth, which is why I call this one the Woolly Mammoth. But so we're going to carve that into the stock, and then we're going to do the full Art Nouveau engravings, and we're going to do black inlay for them. And then for the metals of the gun itself, we're going to do nickel plating for the barrel, the sight, and the trigger, and then black and steel for the frame, the hammer, and the trigger guard, for a total cost of 9 gold bars. So I really like this one. I think it's got a unique feel to it. It depends on the lighting that you're in. Sometimes it looks really, really dark, and then other times like this, you can tell the difference between the black and steel and the wood stock, so it doesn't blend in quite as well. But the contrasting nickel plating on the black and steel looks really, really nice. Of course, as with any design like this where you're just trying to contrast light and dark, you could swap out the nickel plating for either iron or silver and it would still work, and you could swap out the black and steel for blued steel. Either way, this design's pretty versatile like that, but I just like it with the nickel plating and the black and steel. I think it looks real sharp. So that is the second design. Let's move on to the third. Alright, and so for design number 3, we've got the fire stick. And so for this one, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to put the plain leather wrap on it, and we're going to do the short barrel because we want this one to look a little bit more compact. Then for the design of it, we're going to do the Bubinga varnish on that stock again, again, and the Art Nouveau engraving with the red enameled inlay. It's very important that we have the red enameled inlay on this one. And then for the metals of this, we're just going to do black and steel for the barrel, the frame, the sight, and the trigger guard, and then brown steel for the trigger and the hammer, giving this gun a total cost of 12 gold bars to make. This one I think looks fantastic. So a lot of people they'll be on the fence for the red and black design, whether it looks cool or whether it looks total edgelord. On some guns, I don't think it looks very good. On this one, I really, really like it. I think it looks great. In fact, when I was designing this one, I was like, dang, I might have to switch it from the DTG Classic. I won't, because I'm super loyal, but if I was going to switch it, it would probably be to this, because this is definitely a little over the top. But if you're running through town gunning people down with a double barrel shotgun, I have to assume you're pretty over the top. So yeah, this one looks great. Of course, the wrap is your choice, because you could either do a red cloth wrap, you could do the cartridge wrap, or you could do the plain one like this. I just think the regular leather wrap with the scarlet coloring to it looks the best for this gun. But like I said, let's say you don't have access to the scarlet coloring, then the best would be to go with one of the red cloth wraps. Either way, I think it looks fantastic. That red and black design is real cool, real unique, and it'll help you stand out in a firefight. So that is the third design. Let's move on to the fourth. Alright, so for the fourth design, of course, we have our factory finish that I know people love so much, and this one is just called the Coach Gun. Now, honestly, I like this design. It's solid. I went online and just looked up a lot of different historical, not replicas, but actual preserved historical guns from the time period. And this is what I was able to find for the most part. So we have the plain iron finishes on the trigger and the sight. Then we have the browned steel, which is kind of like color case hardening, but also just kind of like one of the real basic gunmetal steel looks that you'll see on a lot of these older guns. It's possible that they were blued to some extent back in the day, but it's just been worn off, or that they were always lighter. Either way, I think it contrasts really nicely. So for that, we're going to be doing the trigger guard, the hammer, and the frame all in brown steel, which just looks great on the double barrel shotgun. And then of course black and steel for the barrel. This one does not have any carvings, it does not have any engravings. The stock is just going to be mahogany, because that's usually the closest to a factory finished stock that we can get in this game. We are using the short barrel. It could work either way, but I was going for the Coach Gun, which typically didn't have a super long barrel, or at least not in the examples I was able to find. But yeah, other than that, it's just designed to look as stock as possible. So if you're one of those people who likes to play the game, making all of your guns look as historically accurate as possible just for immersion reasons, then this is probably the best design for you. But even if you're not, I really like this design. And if you wanted to make it fancier, you could add some engraving to it and maybe put the black metal into it, which would stand out decent against the brown steel. And you could carve something on it, or you could put a wrap on it. You could make it look as fancy as you want. But this is the way you go if you want to make your gun look realistic, like an actual double barrel shotgun from the period. So that's the fourth design. Let's move on to the fifth and final design. Alright, and so for the fifth design, we have the Thin Ice. And so this one, as you can see, we're going a little bit more into the artistic range for this one. So what we did is we put the long barrel back on it, and this time we gave it a cloth wrap. And for that wrap, of course, we went with the white coloring. And then for the varnish on the stock, which is the wide grain stock, we went with the walnut one. Now there's a couple different ones that would work. The myrtle one also looks decently good and works pretty well with this design, but I really like the walnut. Basically, we're just going for that light design. Then you're going to want to have full engravings. Doesn't really matter on the style. I went with the, I believe, Art Nouveau for this one, but I could be wrong. But all that matters is that they have the silver metal inlay. Then for the metals of the gun itself, we're going to be doing black and steel for the barrel, the frame, and the trigger guard, and then nickel plating for the trigger, the sight, and the hammer. And now, obviously, the goal here is just to contrast that light and dark again, which, as we've found before, is always a really good combination. But I also wanted to give it a little bit more of a feel, maybe kind of a winter-ish gun, because that's kind of what I had in mind when I was designing this. And so that's why I wanted to go with that real white look for the stock, and that's why we have the cloth over there. The only thing I wish we could have some cloth wrapper on the foregrip too. I think that would help with the style of these guns. But as it is, I think it looks really great. Again, as usual, that silver and nickel popping against the black and steel looks awesome, and all of that contrasting against the very light wood, and then of course the white wrap. It just looks real sharp. So that is the fifth design, and that is all of the custom designs I'm going to show you for the double barrel shotgun today. And then just for fun, this here is the variant that you can get for this gun in the game, and it's the Krampus variant. It was available last year for Christmas, and again this year for Christmas. I think it looks alright. It's definitely got quite a bit more, I guess, design to it. You can see it's got stuff all over the barrel, really heavily carved on the stock. It's got a deeper brass look to the trigger and the hammers. I love that. I wish that was a metal option in the game for the rest of us. But it's a decent looking gun, so if you wanted to pick up a variant and give yourself a more unique looking double barrel shotgun if you like this gun, then the Krampus variant is decent, and it is currently available here on Red Dead Online, at least at the time of filming this video. I think it goes until January 4th. So Hopefully you don't miss it if you want it, but that is the Krampus design, the only variant that I am aware of for the double barrel shotgun, that or the rare shotgun. And this is what the rare shotgun looks like. This one, again, can also just be purchased at the gun shop, so it's the same exact thing as a double barrel shotgun, except you can't customize it, so it's got a really heavily engraved stock and foregrip. The brass for the hammer, the frame, the trigger guard, and the sights are all slightly different than the brass that you could do in the game. So, like, it is a very unique looking shotgun. So if you want to go for a shotgun variant, the Krampus variant is seasonally available basically every Christmas, at least so far. Or you can just buy the rare shotgun from the store, or you can customize your double barrel shotgun in any of the ways that I've shown you in this video. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.